Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of That's a Wrap. I'm Caboose.
I'm Under the Answer.
And today what we got for you guys here is going to be now our spoiler-filled Avengers Endgame review. We're going to be talking heavy spoilers.
Yes.
Before we get into everything though, we wanted to ask you guys, of course, if you could leave a like rating on the video as it shows your support, and we would really appreciate it. So if you could leave a like, that would be awesome. We also wanted to announce our giveaway winners.
Yes.
Like I said, we're going to honor our giveaway. We looked through some comments. We picked, first of all, some really cool theories that we don't know, did it come true? We'll see, I said. So you're going to look at the comments. You're seeing the comments on screen right now. If you see your name, please reach out to me. You can shoot me an email through the About section on my YouTube page, or you can reach out to me on Twitter or Instagram. My DMs are open. So just reach out to me if you see your name on this screen right now and say, hey, that's me, and we will get you your prize.
And I did want to take a second, Caboose, to say, man, was this, what a ride with the fans and everybody commenting. I had a lot of fun. Life got in the way, got a little busy, but it was so great to do all of this, and we're finally here with our spoiler review. And of course, during this video here, so we got a little grand prize that we're going to do, Caboose, if you want to tell the fans how we're going to do that.
Yeah, so we got a grand prize here, because this is our spoiler review, because Avengers Endgame is out. We want to give a pretty big prize to you guys, so what we're going to do here, this is how we're going to structure it. You're going to send me something on Twitter, and this image will be your Marvel collection, whether that's comic books, action figures, posters, all of them, whatever you might have. Just send us your Marvel collection on Twitter, and then we're going to select a winner in an upcoming video in a little bit. So just send us, whatever it may be.
If you've got a cool toy, cool setup in your room, old school toy, something we haven't seen. If there's a hat you have that me and Caboose don't have, let us see it. Then we're going to pick a winner.
That's right. So just send us that photo. Let us know, obviously, that it's for the contest, so then we know you're trying to enter. And then at the end of the week, we're going to pick who we think has the coolest Marvel collection, whoever that may be. So good luck to you guys. Send us in your submissions. It's going to be on my Twitter account. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at CabooseEK, linked in the description.
Can't wait to see it.
But okay.
All right.
Spoilers.
Yes, we're going to say it again.
Spoilers
We're going to say it again.
We have given you plenty of time now in the beginning of this video, doing all the housekeeping. So we'll do one more spoiler warning ahead. We are going in depth on everything Avengers Endgame.
We are. And just, if you see me looking down at my laptop, it's because I'm trying to make sure
we got a lot of notes.
We got a lot of notes. Nothing we miss here.
Okay.
So we needed time to breathe.
Yes.
Digress after this movie.
All right, so I'm going to give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1. It's spoiler time.
Let's go.
Let's jump into this. So, I love the way this movie opens.
100%.
Beautiful opening.
The moment you see the opening sequence, it's like, just a whole bunch of things.
You
knew that what he was going to turn into, what was going to happen to Hawkeye, why he was in Tokyo. You just knew everything what was going to happen, and they started it off dark.
Yes.
This, like we said in our non-spoiler, this was a story. Like, this was not your laser beam comic book movie. It was a story. You can just see the way it started.
No, I agree, and I love as well that the way once it opens, once you see him with his daughter, you know exactly what's going to happen. Literally, everyone in the theater went, oh, damn. Because they knew. They knew exactly what was about to happen.
And it was still emotional when it happened.
It was still so good because I love right before it happens, he has this very touching, very human moment with his daughter, and he's interacting with his family. And it's like all of that delaying the inevitable made it feel that much more impactful. Once he calls his daughter. You can see how
important his family was. Because, there was a movie that he was missing, and they said because he had to go into hiding to protect his family. And later in the movie, you see when that phone buzzes and he looks down on it, the joy on his face.
Oh, yeah.
So you could just see, they did a lot of that in this movie. Family, members, team members, just how important it was to everybody. They really drove the emotional core. They really drove hard.
Yeah, no, the relationships and everything, whether it's, actual relationships that people are in, or something like a Pepper and a Tony, or just the friendships that people had, they really drove that home in this film.
They really did.
And I love that. So such a great opening.
Yes.
And then right after that, we get the Marvel logo. We hear, I believe the song is Dear Mr. Fantasy. Tony's on the ship.
Yes.
He's hanging out with Nebula. A little bit of comedy.
Yeah, a little bit of comedy, which is always normal. And then one of your theories came true, Caboose.
That's right. So Captain Marvel does end up being the one that saves Tony. And I like, too, that they just skipped, they pretty much assumed that we saw Captain Marvel.
I love how they did that. Now, you have to watch Captain Marvel to see that,
Yeah.
But I love how a lot of things us as being comic fans and following this, 22-movie journey, you just had to know how things went down and how it happened, and we didn't have to see them with the Avengers. Yeah. We just knew it was done.
They already established she was with them.
They sent her to Sky to go ahead and find him, and she did, and she comes back down.
But I wonder as well, maybe it's a nitpick or a plot hole, whatever you might consider it, how did they know that Tony was in space? How did they not assume that he was one of the ones that got dusted? I don't know. maybe that's just one of the things.
Good point. Maybe they had to find him somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe knew there was a battle.
Maybe they got one of his signals.
Please go into space, search all around, and see if you can find him. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you can consider that a little bit of complaint. There really was no explanation there.
Yeah.
But she comes back to Earth, brings Tony home. He looks frail.
Yeah, man, they did some good work.
I didn't know 21 days with no food can do that to you, but
he looked rough. No, he really did. And of course, here we get some of the best acting probably from Robert Downey in this series. And I love how they did it. Caboose, you made a fantastic point of everything we thought about. We thought, like, Cap was going to be Cap was going to be pissed at Tony for not being there for him. You know what I mean? But
no, I love that. I love that essentially, going into this movie, I don't know if anyone else would agree with me, but I kind of assumed that, it would be Cap inevitably forgiving Tony. And that's how things would come together. Yes. But no, this was way more about Tony forgiving Cap.
Yeah.
Because, at the end of the day, Tony's the one who got his ass beat for being mad that his mom got killed, He had every right to be upset in the situation that he was in Civil War, and to see him lay into Captain America.
He took it all on Cap. The guy's eaten in 21 days. He was in space. He lost the kid. He saw everything. Yeah. He just laid into Cap, which was ideal. It was good. Cap, again, had to burden it all.
Yeah.
Because you see throughout this whole entire movie, he has this look on his face the whole movie, Cap, of just how concerned he is, how distraught he is with losing everybody. And the burden always falls on his shoulders to, save everybody.
And unfortunately, he kind of deserves this one from Tony because of the fight, because of the disagreement between them. That's the reason they lost as bad as they did in Infinity War. And it all gets laid out on the table in the beginning of that film in that one scene. I love, too, that Tony calls back to Avengers Age of Ultron. He said, hey, I was trying to build a suit of armor around the world. I was trying to protect us.
Yes.
And you hated me for it, know? And I love that they call back to that.
Yes.
And
even something like, Tony believed in the Accords. Cap didn't, it might have saved things. There's a lot of callback moments. And I was going to say, Caboose, the first thing he said when he got off the plane, obviously he's happy to see Pepper Potts. I lost a kid.
Yeah.
He really cared about Peter Parker. And that was just in his mind. And when he saw Cap, he was just ready to unleash on someone. So it was some great acting, great tone again set for the movie.
Yeah. No, 100%. I even love, too, that Tony calls back to that moment where Cap says in Avengers 2, he's like, hey, we'll lose. And Cap says, we'll do that together too. And he says, we didn't do that together. We did not lose together.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's such a beautiful opening.
It is. And
well
you can
acted.
see that Cap really couldn't say anything back. And we wasn't going to because Tony just went through hell, but Cap just took it all in.
Yeah.
He just took it all. He just took a beat.
And then after that, the team finds out where Thanos is.
Yes.
They head over to him, and Thanos is just kind of chilling.
He's Farmer Thanos.
Thanos.
That was just a quick scene. I think we we didn't know he was going to get killed, but we kind of he was just content with what he did.
Yeah.
He was just Farmer Thanos.
He was living his life.
It was just like he did this thing and he was just living his life. He was living a good life.
And hey, it turns out too that he destroys all the Infinity Stones before the Avengers could even get there as well.
Now, again, a little bit of a plot hole. We don't know if that was 100% for sure true, but he does say he used the stones to destroy the stones.
Well, I think he did because you see that he's even more burnt up than because he said, I destroyed the stones and it almost killed me.
Fair enough.
So I'm pretty sure he did destroy the stones as well, especially because after Thor chops off his head and says, I went for the head, which got a big cheer in our theater.
Yes, it did.
And then we cut 5 years later. We notice we cut 5 years later, and pretty much after that, the Avengers lost hope.
Yeah.
They figured, it's done.
They're just doing, some crime just from headquarters and still kind of monitoring the role. We get that sequence where she's talking to
Okoye.
Captain. I always mess up the name. But we see that, it is a broken world. We really do. Captain America's in a an Alcoholics Anonymous section, for God's sake. So everybody's just talking, still trying to repair, still missing the people that they
Joe
lost.
Russo cameos in that scene, which I thought was really cool.
That was pretty cool. Well deserved. I wish his brother was there too, because man, those guys deserve it.
I know, those guys deserve all the praise for sure. But that was a great scene. And again, I just love, after we cut 5 years, that you pretty much realize, after they notice that the stones are destroyed, that's it. There's nothing that they can do. At least before we see Ant-Man introduced, to them, that's it.
That's it.
They're never going to bring back their friends.
You can't do nothing without the stones, so everybody's kind of just content with it. We get a lot that happens in those 5 years, and a lot of important things. Obviously, Tony has a daughter, which is very important. You see the love that he has with daughter. He has a good moment with him.
Which was a big surprise.
Which was a big thing. Yeah. Hawkeye is Ronin. Thor is broken. Hulk Professor. Captain Marvel goes away, which we also did call. I told you, because I had a feeling she's going to go away for a time in this movie. She's going to have to go do her thing.
She does skip out on pretty much the entire second act.
Yes.
And a bit of the first act as well. But I saw that she had the shorter hair. I thought that looked great. I'm glad that they went with the shorter hair. That is from the comic book, so I thought that was really cool.
Some really good comedic relief with Thor. That was a bit of a left field thing.
But at the same time, it's comedic relief, but also if you look deeper into it, like you realize how depressed
100%,
he got
100%,
after he killed Thanos.
Because that tone stayed with Thor. Even before, like, this guy, he lost more than anybody. He lost his whole country. He lost his whole country.
He lost his brother. He lost his mom. He lost his dad. He lost everyone that was important in his life. And then after he killed Thanos and realized he couldn't bring them back, that was kind of it for him as well. He just gave up.
And I think maybe he got depressed and he went into that stage too because he had the opportunity to kill Thanos. If he went for the head, Thanos teased him with that. Right. And he just, oh my God, if I would have went for the head, who knows what would have happened. So
that's absolutely. And then we see, like you mentioned, Professor Hulk. That was really cool. So it looks like from here on out, Banner is Hulk. That is a permanent thing.
That looks like
so. That was really interesting.
And he was kind of their brains here. He was their scientist for this movie.
He was the professor of Professor Hulk.
We again did not get the Hulk out. They just did not give it to us for two movies. But he did play a part just being kind of their scientist and managing the time machine and all of that.
He was definitely very
important.
And
they needed that because without him, who else could do it, right? Who else could really do it?
They needed the brains because they couldn't get Tony to initially get on board with the time travel because of the fact that Tony has a daughter.
Yes.
And then we do see, Ant-Man is back. He gets his way out of the quantum realm literally because of a rat stepping on a bunch of buttons. Yes. So that was cool. And then he sees his daughter in the future who is much older now. And she is alive. She survived the snap, so that was really interesting. And then that's when he goes to the Avengers headquarters and says, "Hey, I figured out how to make it here.
Yes.
I was only in the quantum realm for what was, for me, 5 hours, for you, 5 years.
Yes.
So could we manipulate that and figure out a way to go back in time?" And that's where the plans get set in motion. And for Tony, I love, you were mentioning this off camera, I love that, yes, initially he says, "No, I can't do this. I got a daughter. I don't want to get rid of this. I love what I have right now."
Yeah.
But then he sees that photo of him and Peter Parker.
Yeah, and it was just too much to bear.
That's kind of the moment where it clicks.
And again, you get this scene with Pepper Potts again where she already knows he's going. She already does know. She already does know. She can never stop him from doing what is the greater good. Even if at the sacrifice of his daughter, he still has to go. And I think there's a scene there where she almost accepts it. She knows that he has to do this.
She's almost the one who convinces him because she says, like, well, hey, are you going to be able to sleep?
Exactly.
Because of obviously what we saw in Iron Man 3.
Because other times she wanted him. Remember when he went on the ship?
Yeah. She wanted
Can you
him
come
to
back?
stay.
And then it cut. Other times she did not want him to go. Here, she knows he has.
I think she realized the importance, even at the cost potentially of their daughter.
Yes.
That the importance is much greater to bring everyone back.
Because she knew the team wasn't going to be able to do it without Iron Man.
And that's when we see, Tony heads back to the quarters.
Yes.
He brings Cap his shield.
Yes.
They kind of reconcile a little bit.
Yes.
You think it's a little anticlimactic?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just wanted more because Civil War, I love that movie and just
Did
that
you
fight
want it
with
like a Dylan and like they high five with muscles?
I don't know. I just wanted more. It happened at the beginning of the movie because the trailer we saw it and I was like, oh man, it was just anticlimactic for me. But at the end of the day, I guess it wasn't a really big thing. What were they going to do that was going to make it better for me? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
I didn't think it needed
for you,
to be
it was fine.
I think it was just fine. I didn't think it needed to be a huge moment. I love when he does hand Cap his shield. We hear the original Captain America score from the first Avenger, the first Captain America film. That was a nice callback there. And, it was a good moment. Like, hey, okay, let's put aside our differences here. We got to work together to bring everyone back.
Yes.
They time travel.
I guess maybe for that reason why there wasn't going to be this big climactic thing. There wasn't time for it.
Yeah.
They had to bury the hatchet.
Yeah.
Then our next thing here is the hunt for the stones.
Yeah, let's get the hunt for the stones. And speaking of which, that's when they figure it out. They go through that giant quantum tunnel and they split up into teams. They got, Cap and his team with Iron Man and Hulk and everyone going back to the events of New York because they actually realized that there was 3 stones in New York during the Battle of New York from Avengers 1.
Yes.
And then we got, I believe, Hawkeye and Black Widow. They go to Vormir, to retrieve the Soul Stone. Thor goes with Rocket back to the events of Thor 2
Asgard,
to get the Ether. And then
Hulk,
I believe...
Hulk goes to the Sorcerer Supreme to get the time stone.
Yeah, right. But that's all just New York, just as
the
broad spectrum of it. And then we see that War Machine and Nebula go to Morag during the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 to retrieve the Power Stone.
Yes.
So all these teams split up, go for the hunt for the stones. For me, this is where kind of my only real big complaint about Avengers Endgame comes from, and that's that during all the time travel, when we would go to places like Vormir or Morag or even Asgard for Thor 2, I just wanted to get back to New York.
Yes.
That was the coolest part for me.
Yes, it was. Because that's where we saw all the old Avengers. We saw the Cap on Cap fight, which, again, it's a tiny gripe for me. I wish that fight would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then he had, again, a joke at the end, with America's ass. But I wish that fight would have been we almost were going to get that elevator sequence again, which we loved. They gave us a lot of cool stuff.
Also, is it just me, though, when we saw the past Cap and he was wearing, like, his Avengers 1 suit, did it look, for some reason, better this time around than it did in the original Avengers film?
I don't think it looked bad before. Cap always looks good. So
you definitely think it looked bad. I remember your complaint.
The costume was
the
rough.
cowl was bad,
Yeah,
but it looked actually somewhat good.
Maybe we just appreciated it more.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of good stuff with the Hunt for the Stone. A lot of twists to which I liked. I didn't think they were just going to go back and come back. No. The Tesseract was stolen.
Yeah.
We got moments with his dad. We got a lot
went wrong
a lot
in
went
this.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot went wrong.
And just like you said, that elevator scene was so good.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to go the extra mile and just recreate the elevator scene.
Yes.
But no, they did the genius thing. Cap leans in and says, Hail Hydra. And they're like, oh. And then just let him go.
Now, I think it's also worth mentioning, when Thor was on Asgard, just before he's going to go back, he puts out his hand. The moment that happened, Caboose, I called it. I knew it was going to happen later on in the movie with that hammer. But
for sure.
We will get there.
Yeah.
Me and you, you elbowed me for a couple of times in this movie, but I was elbowing you a lot as well.
Our arms were bruised up by the end of the movie because we were definitely hitting each other like.
Now, I think it's worth mentioning on Vormir, we get another very emotional scene here.
Yes.
We're trying to get the stone. So
we do realize that, again, in order to retrieve the Soul Stone, it's a soul for a soul. Yes. You have to get rid of somebody that you love.
I was really wondering how they were going to do that one. You have to give us somebody you love.
Yeah.
How were they going to do that? They did it nicely again.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like about that scene as well is because they were both essentially fighting for who was going to jump off the cliff, they both loved each other. Like Black Widow and Hawkeye's friendship 100%. Was very. They really loved each other.
But what I also got from that scene was Black Widow really didn't have a lot. Other than the Avengers, she had nothing. Jeremy Renner had his family, right?
Right.
She just had the Avengers was her family.
But I think that is important too because the following scene, when they asked like, "Hey, did she have any family?" and someone responds, "Yeah." Us.
Yes.
We were her family, So, she didn't have any blood ties, but she had the Avengers. They were her family. They were her people, and they mourned for her. And I love, too, that the way that they structured that scene on Vormir, it's exactly the way that Gamora's death was in Infinity War. Even almost exactly the way the positioning of Black Widow on the floor. So, and some A-plus acting from Jeremy Renner during that entire scene.
It was
He
great.
really sells it
great.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that, new gauntlet is built, which I thought looked really cool.
Oh my god, did it ever look
so
cool.
badass.
That was just so cool. Some of the CGI and stuff they did here was just incredible. It looked so cool with the stones when they were putting them in. Oh my god, it looked amazing. Yeah.
And it looked, this was a very subtle moment in the movie that I loved is they're trying to figure out who's going to wield the gauntlet, who's going to snap everybody back. And Thor's like, just let it be me.
Yes.
Please. He just, I love that moment. He wanted to be useful.
Very good point. He wanted to do something because he's just, he was out of shape and everything. He wanted to do something and he was struggling to find a way to do something. Yes.
Yeah, he felt completely useless in that moment. And I really appreciate that he was jumping in there like, please, just let it be me.
Yeah.
Let me be the one to do this. And then Hulk was like, no, it's got to be me.
Yeah.
That thing's got a lot of gamma in it anyways. So if anyone's going to be able to wield this for long enough to do this, it'll be me. And he does exactly that. Burns off his arm, which looked brutal.
Yes. That gave us a moment of showing Hulk's strength. All we got a lot from this movie was Hulk and Bruce Banner's mind in this movie being assigned to, but it showed just how powerful actually
Hulk can be. We got a lot of the
be.
brains, but there we got a bit of the brawn, and he does snap everybody back. And we don't really see anyone just yet.
Yeah, we don't.
We just know everything's okay, obviously from the phone call that Hawkeye gets from his wife.
Yes.
And then we see kind of the trees and the sunlight outside.
Yes.
But because of the certain events that were set in place, the past Thanos comes to the future with his army, and the battle begins.
And I think that's just Quirk mentioning, obviously, what when they were going to hunt for the stones. I love that twist that they did. Thanos finds out. Nebula and Gamora were big factors in this movie. They really,
the past
Nebula
versions,
was a very, very big factor in this movie. So
she
it was
very
really
important.
good. Because I was wondering, how are they going to introduce Thanos? I was like, was there ever really a threat of a villain in this movie?
Yeah.
And it looks like that's when at that moment it did come. I was like, he's got to find out somehow, some way, and he wants to stop this.
Here's the thing, though. When they introduced that past version of Thanos, this is Thanos before he gets all the stones, before he thinks, I'm going to do this for the better of the universe. This is vicious Thanos.
Especially when he realizes that his plans for what he has wanted to accomplish his whole life gets thwarted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we see kill everything Thanos.
Because he has that moment of I
right.
wiped out half the universe and you guys weren't grateful. Now I'm just going to kill everyone and reshape the universe.
Yes.
That was like, oh damn,
Yeah,
he's pissed.
It was.
You really messed with the bull.
And I needed that because I think throughout this whole entire movie, the first 2 acts, you don't really have a threat of a villain. You really don't. You really
it's about the
kind of
mission.
don't.
Yeah,
it's about the mission.
and then once
the big
Thanos
part
gets
of the movie is
introduced,
about the mission. Yes.
And that entire war on the Avengers headquarters is some of the craziest action I've ever seen.
Well, I love when he just came down and he just bombed the shit out of the Avengers. So we knew like we thought everything was going to go gravy for them, and I was glad to feel that at this moment. No, it was not yet. It was not yet.
No, exactly. So, and then all that stuff goes down. We get one of the coolest shots in the movie, the Trinity and Thanos.
And I'm glad it was
wide
them
shot.
And I'm glad it was them three going to him. Yes. Yes.
Thor dual-wielding Mjolnir and Stormbreaker.
Oh my god.
So badass.
And then we obviously got to talk about the moment. I'm telling you, Caboose, I cannot stress this enough how incredibly amazing this was. You know me. And I called this in my theory. I did call it. I knew it was going to go down.
Didn't go down exactly how you called it.
Exactly. That's fine. But I did call it. A lot of other people might have called it. But that was the greatest moment for me in all of these movies. It just, not just because I'm the biggest Cap homer. It was incredible. The moment he had it and it was down on the ground and he didn't like pick it up or anything. He summoned it. He summoned it.
I've never heard you like cheer
I lost
for a movie.
I'm telling you, everybody in the theater lost. I stood up from my seat. I was clapping. It was just such an amazing moment.
It was one of the coolest moments in comic book history. It is exactly what I wanted to happen. It's straight out of the comic books, and it was just like you said. The fact that he summons it makes it so much more cool.
They timed it perfectly. And they even had a moment they were throwing a tiny little joke where he's like, I knew it.
Thor.
And then
Thor says, I knew it.
The thunder.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's dueling it with the shield, using the shield with the hammer.
It was just amazing.
It was incredible. He goes toe-to-toe with Thanos and is beating him up. But I love to, no matter what, Thanos still just comes out on top.
100%.
He still comes out on top.
And I had that here. I'm glad that they showed how powerful Thanos was even without the gauntlet.
Yeah.
He didn't have the gauntlet, nothing, and he was fighting like the whole Avengers without the gauntlet. Just his sword. I love how they did that. He beat the shit out of that shield. You know, this thing's made out of vibranium, and he destroyed that shield.
He cracked it in half.
And he cracked it in half.
Yeah.
But you see while it's cracked in half, Cap gets up.
Still using
and he
it.
still put that
Straps
buckle back down. Oh,
and
my
then
God.
My favorite shot in the entire movie, it's just Captain America, and he's facing all of Thanos' army.
Yes.
And you think this is it. He is on his own.
Yes.
He's going to give him that, I can do this all day. And then you hear someone speaking in his ear.
Yes, on your left.
On your left.
Oh, my God.
The Doctor Strange portals are forming.
Oh, my God.
Black Panther walks out. All the Avengers walk out.
It was just...
Spidey swings in.
It was pure bliss.
God.
It was absolutely pure
Just constant
bliss.
Cheering in the theater.
It was that 8 minutes. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything because the crowd in our theater was going nuts.
Yeah.
They were going... And then he dropped it.
Yep.
He dropped the line.
Avengers!
And everybody silenced a little bit in our theory because when he said Avengers, there was 2-3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he drops the assemble.
We cheered as everyone cheered to run into the war.
It was
so Cap standing there, he goes, Avengers! And everyone in the theater shut up.
Yes.
And they were just waiting. Say it.
Because before they came out the portal, they showed Thanos. He was like, I got this. My whole entire army's here. I don't care how many guys you got.
Right.
And then when they came through, they showed Thanos again when he dropped the assemblies. Thanos was like, oh, shit. Now this is going to be a war. I don't have this one yet.
This was the war that is essentially promised in Infinity War.
Yes.
This is the all-out battle. The Avengers at the top of their game with all the people by their side, and then Thanos and his entire army all by his side going at it.
It was 8 to 10 minutes of a comic book fan's dream.
Yeah.
It was an absolute dream. Everything about it. The girl power scene.
Yeah, that was awesome.
We saw a quick little moment with Tony and Spider-Man. We just saw good stuff. It was
Pepper even shows up in the armor. What? That was awesome.
I can't talk about this.
Oh
Our
my
spoiler
God.
review could have just been on this scene.
100%.
It was
this whole final act.
It was pure bliss.
Yeah.
It was just pure bliss.
Yeah, I don't know. As a Marvel fan, I don't know how you could be disappointed with how perfectly handled this was.
Yes.
And oh my God, badass moment after badass moment. We see the Avengers just going at it, going crazy.
Just a whole bunch and then we get Captain Marvel come and she just destroys the ship. Destroys the ship. And I know there was a cool part that you liked.
So she's taking on Thanos, and Thanos does the headbutt, and Captain America's like, Captain Marvel doesn't even budge.
Yeah.
So good. Kind of call back to Batman vs Superman.
A little bit of DC.
A little bit. Yeah. But no, oh my God, such a good moment. So many great moments.
It was just incredible.
It's hard to think of which was my favorite outside of obviously Cap getting Mjolnir. It's just there were so many times where we were just cheering, laughing, enjoying the hell out of the experience. And wow.
I know the first part of the movie was a little slow, but it's absolutely
worth the wait.
Worth it for that final. Yeah. I cannot wait to watch the movie again because I just want to watch the last hour.
Yeah.
When this thing comes out on a Netflix or something in the future, I will be watching it over and over and over again. Yeah. I will.
One thing, too, I wanted to point out, I saw someone mention this on Reddit, so I will not take credit. This is not coming from me. But somebody pointed out, so if you remember, calling back all the way to Avengers 1,
yes,
one of the first arguments between Tony and Cap,
yes,
when everyone in the room is arguing together, Cap says to Tony, "You're not the guy to make the sacrifice play, to lay your life on the line."
Yes.
And Tony says to Cap, "Everything special about you came out of a bottle."
Yes.
Cap gets Mjolnir.
Yes.
He's not built and made by the super serum or the super soldier serum.
Exactly.
And Tony sacrifices himself.
Man, Caboose, that is 100% bang on.
What a beautiful way to bring it full circle.
You are bang on there to bring it back full circle, 100%. There's a lot of those callbacks in this movie that people can remember.
They didn't leave no one out in the entire Marvel
Cinematic. There was only one person, which was Odin, was not in this. They brought back everybody.
Yeah.
I was even wondering how they're going to bring back Natalie Portman to get that ether. They even did that.
Yeah, they even brought her back. They brought back Thor's mom. They brought back like Agent Sitwell, Crossbones.
Yes.
Like they brought back every person you may have been familiar with in the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is here in this film. And that's why in our initial non-spoiler review I mentioned that this is not the conclusion of the Avengers films. This is the final act to the entire long-running series that was the 11 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It was the close-up of Phase 3. This was a wrap-up.
Phase 1, 2, and 3. Every single one of them. Yes. Yeah, what a beautiful ending it was.
So I guess obviously Quirk mentioning. So I was wrong about my theory.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Cap. It was Tony. And
Who dies?
I got to tell you guys, the girls behind us were sobbing.
Well,
I mean, sobbing.
Well, full disclosure, I was crying like hell too.
I welled up.
I was teary-eyed.
There's no
a
way
lot.
that you can. It was so emotional the way they did it.
But I mean, what a badass way for him to go too.
It was.
You know, Thanos saying, "I am inevitable," and he snaps, and he can't do it because the stones are gone out of the gauntlet. And Iron Man goes, "And I am Iron Man."
Oh man,
boom!
He was just this whole entire movie. Iron Man was destroyed. He was frail. He didn't even say a lot. You can just see he was fading. He couldn't even move. He was staring into blank. They had a final scene with him and Pepper. And obviously Peter Parker there with him. It gives me goosebumps now just talking about it. I'm telling you, it's just so emotional.
Yeah, it's a really emotional moment. You even see Cap like fully on the verge of tears as well. All the Avengers coming together too, and then we see the funeral at the very end.
Yes, and everybody there. Nick Fury shows up. Everyone's there.
Even the kid from Iron Man 3.
Yes.
If you guys remember the kid who Tony's hanging out with for a majority of Iron Man 3, he's there. He's the one with the black hair. You may not recognize him. He's a lot older. He's a lot taller. But even he came.
Yes.
And they brought him back.
They had a nice cheeseburger line with Happy.
Yeah.
Now, the only small thing I'll say here is Caboose,
and
just probably going back to how much more I wanted with Cap and Iron Man. I wish just here, during the funeral, I would have got something from Cap. I don't know why. I just needed it. You know, especially because that line that you just said that they had, I just needed for him to have a scene with his daughter. "I'll be here for you, kid." Or just something. Or him putting his thing into the arc reactor into the water. Just something. I just needed something.
I think you overestimate their friendship a little too much. I don't think they love each other as much as you think that they do. They were just friends, and they knew that they worked together in this mission. And clearly, Cap still meant a lot to Tony. I just don't think that he was that connected to Tony to be like walking up to Tony's daughter or to Pepper, you know? Especially as well, there's probably still some bad blood there. I'm sure Pepper is not very happy with Captain America regardless.
Potentially so. But it was a
very emotional funeral. And my God, when they're sending the flowers into the river and it says it's that birthday present that Tony gets in Iron Man 1, proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
I know. Oh my God, it was.
That crushed me.
You don't get these kind of things from a comic book.
Yeah.
You don't. Everybody getting dusted was emotional enough.
Yeah.
This was on another level. Yeah. This is like you're watching a dramatic Oscar-winning movie. I saw one tweet from somebody that we follow, from Collider, and he made a great point. He said he's marking my words and calling it now. This is going to get some Oscar nominations.
I think it might.
Because this was a story. It was it was just very, very well.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Robert Downey Jr. gets nominated for an Oscar because
I'm telling you,
based on that first scene I was talking about in the beginning of the movie alone, that is some of the best acting from Robert Downey Jr. And then the final scene, the ending with Captain America. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a little rough for me just seeing him like that, but I'm glad he didn't die because I don't know how I would have handled it.
Yeah.
If they would have just shown him in a death scene, I honestly don't know how.
But I'm glad they ended his arc.
Yes.
And I love how wonderful of an ending it was. He just got to live a life.
Yes.
He wasn't defined by the war.
Yes.
He stopped fighting. Just got to enjoy his
dance.
dance.
Because that's all he's done.
Yeah.
That's all he's done. It's just been at war his whole entire
fighting,
life.
fighting. Finally,
he was at peace.
Yeah, he just got to be at peace. And then we see it's not Bucky, but Sam, the Falcon, does get handed the shield. And it looks like the torch has been passed to him.
Yes.
And I love that moment where, the Falcon says it looks like it's somebody else's. And then Captain America says it isn't.
Yes.
And I thought that was wonderful. Such a great moment.
It was.
It's such a great ending. And the perfect final shot. Cap back in time, dancing with Peggy, having that dance that he has promised to her. Oh my! I'm getting goosebumps. Just thinking about it.
I am, and we didn't need a post credits. We didn't. It wasn't there.
No.
Need it all.
That ending was too heavy for me to have anything more.
There's no post credit. The only thing they could have did was if they just wanted to show something of Stanley. That was it. Right. That wasn't needed. It was too emotional after that. It was just, this was an incredible journey.
What a ride.
It really was. What a ride. We thank the Russos. We thank Marvel. We thank Disney. I thank all the fans. This was just nothing like this will ever happen again.
Never again.
In the history of cinema, movie, it will not. The next, if they do a phase 4, 5, 6, it will not be the same. I can't see them ever topping. I can't see anything like this.
And I'll never hold anything up to this expectation because there's no way that they can ever build up to something as big as this ever again. But I'm so glad that I'm sure Kevin Feige, what a sigh of relief he must breathe to see 90-some% on Rotten Tomatoes, $1.2 billion opening weekend.
$350 million.
I know. They did it. 11 years of filmmaking, 22 movies, and it paid off. All that hard work. Thousands of people went into this. And if one of those people was not working at their A game, this all comes crashing down. So the fact that they made it happen, what a miracle of filmmaking and what an achievement. I wouldn't be surprised as well if come the next Academy Awards, they at least give an honorary Oscar to Kevin Feige because he deserves it.
He was always the brains. Yeah. He always
spearheaded this.
You got to keep spoiler things away. You had just the forecast to make this plan is just so. You have a lot of different directors from everybody has to be in unison to make this happen. So, what is your score?
I mean, I don't know if there's any way that I can give this any less than a 10 out of 10. And I'll give that with, let's put this aside for a second, okay? So as a comic book movie, 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Easily. As a movie, if you're judging this as like a film and looking at its flaws, it's obviously not a perfect movie.
Yes.
But as a comic book fan, this is what I've been waiting for. Yes. I've grown up with these movies, and I've been waiting to see this finale. And the fact that it's even remotely good is one of the craziest, biggest achievements ever. Yes. But to be as good as it is, it makes me so happy.
Caboose,
10 out of 10.
There is no doubt about it. The movie is a 10 out of 10. Yeah. There is not enough flaws in this movie for anybody to rank it anything differently. Yeah. You have to take it for what it's worth. This culminated everything. This movie is a 10 out of 10. We got some amazing moments that we'll remember forever. Yeah. They'll never see anything like this again. The movie's a 10 out of 10.
That's right. All right. That was a lot.
That was a lot. We thank everybody for sticking. We knew this was going to be an extended review. We hope you can watch all the way through. Yeah. Leave the comments. I want to know what everybody's best moments were. If anybody's going to pick anything beside that hammer being summoned, I really want to know. I want to see. Yeah. Thanks for all the comments. We will have a couple of more videos after this. We're going to do something along the lines of what happens next. I think we all need to take a breather. I want to watch the movie again. Yeah. Caboose has got some travel coming up.
Yeah.
So, we all need to take a breather.
But with that said, we're now going to kick it to you guys. The comments are free reign. Let us know your spoilery thoughts about Avengers Endgame in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could leave a like rating on it, it shows your support. And I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose.
I'm Enter the Answer.
And you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel. Or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter and like us on Facebook. The links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment if you have an opinion. And subscribe if you're new.
That's a wrap.